Well, the media is an eye to democracy and a voice to those who lack it. It's through the media that the excesses of power are checked and power itself held to account. Kenya has dropped 3 positions in the 2020 World Press Freedom Index, with 22 cases of attack on journalists recorded between March and April. Good evening, I am Abubakar Adullahi. Thank you for making time for us. On a day in which the media celebrates the World Press Freedom Day, we ask the question, how free is the Kenyan media? I am Abubakar Abdullahi. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Ann Wairimu. But before that, these are the stories making our headlines tonight. Do not forgo the guidelines. Ministry of Health warns as 30 test COVID-19 positive, bringing the total confirmed cases to 465. 10,000 people displaced in Budalangi as floods wreak havoc across the country. Caught in an alleged affair. We will tell you why a man in Bungoma is fighting for his life. The Ministry of Health is tonight fretful over the level of defiance Kenyans are showing while foregoing the health guidelines. This even as the number of COVID-19 cases soar, with an increase of 30 cases today. Linda Alela begins our broadcast this evening.
Nairobi is slowly creeping back to normalcy, given the increased traffic activities in recent days. Despite reports of an increase in local infections, it seems it is back to business as usual. This, however, is not settling well with the Ministry of Health.
If we do not, the spread of this disease will be extensive and will be very difficult to contain. We have also observed that some mosques have revised prayer time and are now opening for prayers at night. I must warn such religious leaders that this contravenes the directive that suspended all religious gatherings. They must stop this practice forthwith, failure of which legal action in accordance with the public health shall be taken against them.
Health CAS Rashid Aman says that the National Emergency Response Committee has mandated Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai to establish a containment camp for curfew violators. 15 more patients have been discharged from hospital after having recovered, bringing the total number of recoveries to 167. So far, 16 counties have confirmed COVID-19 cases, Bungoma being the latest with 2 cases.
In the last 24 hours, we have tested 883 cases. Out of this, 30 people tested positive for coronavirus. Of these cases, 19 are from Mombasa, 8 from Nairobi, 2 from Bungoma, and 1 from Kitui.
The ministry has urged Kenyans to take advantage of the rolled-out mass testing, citing apathy in areas targeted.
It is important to go out and be tested, particularly if you are in an area that has been designated as a high risk or a hot spot.
Linda Alela, TV47.
Elsewhere, as the number of COVID-confirmed 19 cases continue to rise, the Ministry of Health has rolled out mass testing centers in areas viewed as COVID-19 hotspots. The commercial hub of Eastleigh is one of those areas. Our reporter Lydia Gashomo visited Eastleigh, took a COVID-19 test, and has filed the following report.
You will be wrong to think that these people are in a shopping queue. They are patiently waiting to be tested to know their COVID-19 status. Before the samples are taken, the person being tested fills a form with the help of an official from the Ministry of Health, giving details among others, their name, age, and the county they reside. After filling the form, he or she passes it to the next official, who gives them a container where the samples taken from the nostrils and mouth will be kept. The sample taking process begins. A 6-inch long swab is inserted in the nostrils and sample taken. The samples are put in a container. Another swab is put in the mouth. The samples are then taken to a laboratory for testing and the results confidentially shared with the person tested.
They are going to get their results through their email, and there is also a phone call a phone number that they are registering.
The number of people in the business hub worries residents such as Fatuma Ibrahim.
Kila nyumba watu wanajaa kama watu wengi sana kifamilia. Sasa mwingine lazima mwingine anaenda kutoka anatembea tembea, mwingine anakuja kwa nyumba, wewe ujui amechukua nini. Sasa hatuwezi kujichunga, lakini tunaomba Mungu atuchunge tu.
Both Eastleigh and Kawangware have been identified as COVID-19 hotspots. Eastleigh has reported 5 more cases, while Kawangware has registered 2 more cases in the last 24 hours. Lida Gashomo, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, when the first case of COVID-19 was reported in the country, panic and uncertainty gripped the nation. Despite the mitigation measures announced by the government, cases of new infections continue to be reported every day, with over 20 people already succumbing to the deadly virus. And as Calvin Chitwa reports, a university in Eldoret is collaborating with herbal doctors to research on a possible herb that can treat COVID-19.
COVID-19 has caused many challenges socially and economically. Workers have been rendered jobless, schools closed, and people forced to adapt to new ways of living. There has been no proven cure or vaccine for COVID-19, but all over the world, scientists are working tirelessly to find a solution. Locally, such efforts have been going on with various research institutions and universities trying similar initiatives. One such institution is the University of Eldoret, which is now partnering with herbal doctors in doing research on possibility of finding a herbal solution to COVID-19.
We have started carrying out research with the herbalists to try and identify if there are any traditional medicines or active ingredients in the traditional medicines that can help treat this virus, the coronavirus, or can help alleviate the symptoms of the virus.
Professor Akenga noted that the research will also try to find out if traditional medicine from the herbs could have key ingredients capable of improving conditions of those that have contracted the highly infectious coronavirus. A section of herbal doctors in Uasin Gishu County have welcomed the idea. Dr. Shadrach Muimet, a herbalist from Uasin Gishu County, says they have the ability to contribute meaningfully to the fight against COVID-19.
Sisi wenyewe tunaweza fanya nini kama Waafrika? Tunajua kuwa WHO wamesema kuwa 70% of African population relies on herbal medicine. Ni wakati muhimu sahihi hivi tuweze kuona watu wetu walifanya nini. Waafrika walifanya nini ndio waweze kupigana na magonjwa ya virusi kama haya.
Many of the herbal doctors say they understand that coronavirus attacks the breathing system, especially the lungs, and they have a variety of herbal medicine they have been using to treat related ailments.
Sisi kama madaktari ya kiasili tuko na madawa zetu kama mitimbao ambayo inaitwa eucalyptus, ambayo tunajua kuwa watu wetu wamekuwa wakati uko na homa unafunikiwa, inachamushwa ile leaves, inachamushwa ndio iweze kufungua mabafu.
Kama hii mtoto akiumwa na tumbo kama iko nasokota kidogo na tunaenda kutafuta hii dawa na kupea. Hii mtoto akijikuna ile vitu tunaita kwa lugha yetu kwetu. Tunaenda kuchamusha hii maji ichamuke mzuri.
But many herbal doctors and elders say COVID-19 pandemic has given Kenya and other African nations an opportunity to pay more attention to traditional solutions as well as researching on potential herbal medicine. Revelations on the University of Eldoret researching on potential herbal medicine for COVID-19 comes at a time when scientists at Kenya Medical Research Institute, Kemri, are also said to be considering research on herbs as a possible solution. Eldoret Catholic Diocese Bishop Dominic Kimengich has urged the government to allocate enough resources and support to local research institutions, saying time had come for Kenya to stop relying on other countries for research.
These scientists have knowledge and they can help us enhance the local capacity. For how long are we going to continue relying on outside help? Yet, here in the country, we are people who can do that.
Calvin Chitwa, Tv47, Uasin Gishu County.
Elsewhere, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has warned parents against paying school fees for any kind of learning during this period. He has also insisted that the national examinations date will remain, even as he urged children to continue enjoying their holiday for the next 1 month until June 4th.
Even up to this point, the government has not decided to postpone the national examinations. You have eyes and ears, and you can ask yourselves whether in your considered opinion the past week has been good or bad as far as coronavirus is concerned. And perhaps I want to end this by asking you questions, because you are perhaps too young to have children, but you must have brothers and sisters. Would you rather send your children back to school at the end of the month with all these facts that you've just been given now? So if and when we are going to make the pronouncement that we are going to either shift the calendar or open the schools, we shall wait for the appropriate time, which time has not arrived, and that opportunity will come as we together look at what the government is doing.
Moving on, more than 10,000 households in Budalangi constituency in Busia County have been left homeless, while others have been forced to evacuate after heavy downpour. Eli Lugova now reports.
This area is prone to floods. About half of Budalangi's residential area is underwater after water gushed out of River Nzoia, swallowing the villages. 2 people have lost their lives, and residents are counting losses to the tune of millions.
Leo tumelala hapa. Tukiamka usibuhi, maji imejaa kwa maboma yote ndi. Hivi vitu tulikuwa tu. Tangu usibuhi sijakula, vile mnaniona hata sijapika. Angalia vitu vyote kutoka kwa nyumba na unaenda kwa maji ambayo yanafika hapa hivi. Mpaka saa hii.
Kuwa na shida hasa kuanzia Bunyala South kwa muda mrefu. Sasa wiki hii ndio maji sasa tena imekuja sasa yenyewe ya kutoka kwa river na kutoka kwa mvua kutokea kule juu. Sasa imefurika zaidi ya nusu ya Budalangi yote iko chini ya maji.
Locals and some leaders are raising concern over a stalled World Bank project that is meant to put up permanent dikes that they say would have helped contain the water.
Sasa walikuja jamaa wakasema watu wa World Bank wakasema kila maji kivulika unakwenda kwa dike. Wanatoa msaada, kama kapera, chakula na nini. Sasa wakaja wakasema hapana, safari hii tujengee dike ile ambayo iko permanent. Basi wakatuletea wa China, kampuni yao hapa mkoa hapo karibu kilomita 1. Hao watu wamekuja sasa 3 years wamekaa tu. Hata maji hii mafuriko hii haingetupata.
The government has already embarked on evacuation exercise to move the affected families to higher grounds. However, some residents are hesitant about the evacuation exercise.
Tumeweza kuhamisha baadhi ya hawa tukawapeleka kwa shule zetu 10 za msingi haswa ambako wamejikita shauri ya usalama wao na afya. Ijapokuwa hali si nzuri kule, tunazidi kutizama vipi tutaboresha hayo maisha yao. Tuna msaada, ikifikia kesho tutaanza kuwapa chakula cha mgao, mchele na mafuta, baadhi yao wataweza kupata. Lakini tunashauriana na serikali kuu ni msaada gani mwingine tutaweza kuwafikishia. Tuko na bora afya akiitwa public health officer, anatembelea hizi shule kuona hali ya usafi na hali ya sanitation iko nzuri.
Sasa sisi tunaona mtu akisema atataka kusaidia asituambie tuende mahali. Atuletee chakula hapa, atuletee makapera hapa, atuletee kila kitu hapa atusaidie. Lakini kusema ninaweza kutoka hapa na hivi vitu vyangu vyote niende kule Vremi, nitarudi namna gani?
It is a double tragedy for the victims as they struggle to observe the government guidelines on combating coronavirus, yet they have to closely coexist in camps. Majority here don't have face masks and keeping social distance is almost impossible. Eli Logova, TV47, Nairobi.
As the economy continues to bear the brunt of COVID-19, street children in Kakamega County have found a safe haven in Kakamega Youth Shelter. The aim is to rehabilitate them and reintegrate them back to the society. Mulindi Kerry has the details.
This looks like an ordinary house, but inside it houses street children who have found shelter in it. They were formerly under the open skies of Kakamega town, but now they have a roof over their head.
Pastor Dan alinipata kwa gunia, akanitoa kwa gunia town, akaniambia kuna mahali naweza keti.
Bila aliponitoa town nilikuwa nikilala kwa gunia. Alikuja kwa gunia, akanitoa kwa gunia, akaniambia twende kwangu.
We do mentorship program with the children. We do mentorship, sports discipleship that we are doing. We also, apart from this program, we are helping them. Most of them have been sniffing glue, they are weak. So we are trying to give them what we call physical fitness at the moment. So this is a life skill session in relation to real life situation.
For Dan Omondi, the motivation to rehabilitate these children was a personal link. Their last-born sibling disappeared to the streets.
Personally, my brother was in the street. It's really sad when you see your brother from your family. My last brother was in the street. He just disappeared.
The harsh and unforgiving streets often force many indulge in drug and substance abuse, but here they're exposed to Christianity and are given what they have always lacked in the streets: food and shelter.
Nilikuwa natumia gum, sigara, bangi, zote nilikuwa natumia. Nimebadilika na mimi namshukuru Mungu.
Yenyewe venye nimekuja hapa maisha yangu imebadilika. Venye nilikuja hapa nilikuwa mchafu sana. But venye nimekuja sahi, amenibaia manguo, nakula, nasikia raha.
Wanatuambia turekebishe. Tunakaa, tunalala, tunakula, tunaoga.
Basi amenishughulikia, amenunua manguo, amenunua slippers, amenipa.
Kakamega Youth Shelter, we have almost 65 children sleeping at the shelter. We have those who are coming during the day, during lunches, but the ones who are staying here we have 65 children. There are those that we have returned from their home. We have turned them back to their home. There are around 18 children. They are staying here for only 90 days. After 90 days, we are in the position of at least understanding their homes, understanding their relatives. We get communication with their relatives, and then we take them back to their families. Unfortunately, there are those that have gone back to their home, and their parents completely denied them, maybe because of land inheritance, because of polygamy's issue. So we have those children here. Here is where they called their home.
Although it is a calling to serve humanity, it comes with a number of challenges.
It's really not an easy task to provide meals for more than 100 children during lunchtime. Supper, we have almost 65 children. So on daily basis, and we really call for government to stand with us in whichever way possible so that we can make sure that our children are safe. And also we pray for government to help those bigger street kids. We have those who are above 18 years. All of them want to flock at the shelter, and we are only allowed to have children under 18 years.
It is the efforts of people like Omondi that could just be a step in getting many of the street children out of the streets. Mulindi Kerry, TV47, in the county of Kakamega.
A middle-aged man from Bungoma County is fighting for his life in Bungoma Referral Hospital after angry mob confronted him and attacked him. It is alleged that the man was having an affair with another man's wife. Our reporter Micah Gwongo here with the details.
38-year-old Stanislas Masinde found himself on the receiving end last night as an unknown man mercilessly descended on him. It is claimed that Mr. Masinde has been in a clandestine relationship with Mr. Mokoro's wife for quite some time.
Kidogo hiyo simu baba akishikilia ikapigwa. Kupigwa kijana akakimbia mbio akakuja nayo hapa kwangu. Ushuhuda kwamba yule kijana anapigia huyo msichana simu. Kwamba bado wanatongozana vile ilikuwa wamekatazwa kuhamia mwanzo. Na ndio haya maafa tunayaona kwa sababu kijana alipoona sasa huyo kijana kwa sababu alipopiga simu kijana aligeuza sauti yake akajifanya yeye ni mwanamke. Akamuuliza akamwambia toka, yani huyo bwana alikuwa anamwambia huyo msichana toka, mimi niko hapa njiani. Mimi nakungojea na utoki. Yani maneno yazungumzwa akiwa hapa. Nikasikia kwa masikio, si ati niliambiwa, simu ilikuwa inafanya kazi.
Huyu mwenzangu ni kama alikuwa anaongea na bibi ya huyu jamaa. Na huyu jamaa akakundua. Sasa wakakuja wakakombana. Na hiyo maneno ikaenda mbele wakasuluhisha.
The drama led to the irate villagers taking the law into their own hands. They broke into the suspect's house with the aim of forcing him and his entire family out of the village.
Na tazi wao wananchi wa hapa wamekasirika, wakasema ila haiwezekani, ndio umeona wamefanya kitendo ambacho wamefanya kwa boma lake, pia hawajafurahishwa na kitendo ambacho hiyo Joseph Mkoro alifanya mwenzake. Kama ingekuwa na nini nyingine tofauti, kama tofauti ilikuwa, angechukua sheria kwa sababu chifu akaapa, kasa akaapa, angepiga ripoti kama sasa alimkosea ili aweze kuchukua hatua ya kisheria, lakini kuchukua hatua kwa mikononi mwake.
Area Chief Eliud Muyeho confirmed the incident and urged the residents to desist from taking the law unto themselves, but instead practice patience.
Sheria basi kwa mkononi, waendelee kuarifu vitu ya watu kwa sababu kesi kwa polisi wakipatikana pia watachukulia hatua. So naomba tu wakuwe watulivu, tuongojee ripoti ya polisi.
Meanwhile, Masinde's family, led by his father, Mr. Frederick Baraza, is now seeking justice, claiming their son sustained injuries. They are now awaiting a medical report from Bungoma County Referral Hospital.
Kongo mbafu hii, hata tulifikiria mbafu imefunjika, lakini kwa hospitali ichafunjika. Wamepika mkuu, hata kwa saizi mtoto hawezi simama, tunapepa tu. Wamefanya x-ray. Sasa tunaongoja scanning kwa life care. Walituambia tuongoche kama masaa mawili namna hivi tuende tupate ripoti kamili.
Sisi tunalilia haki, serikali tusaidie. Sababu kuna wenye wanajitai ya kwamba wako navyo, wanaumiza wengine, wanafanya vile wanataka, mtu anasema tu watanifanya nini. Sasa tutaishi kwa amani ama tutaishi tu kwa vita hivi?
Reporting for TV47 from Bungoma, I'm Mike Kagwango.
Elsewhere, as scribes across the globe mark the World Press Freedom Day, for one Munene Kamau, the journey to attaining the freedom we enjoy today was not an easy ride. He was among the many journalists who were detained without trial during the early 80s for his job, which basically was reporting. Our reporter Moigi William visited and has filed the following report.
So nikamwambia hata nikuchelewa. So akaweka piso chini, nikandungwa halafu nikaangushwa na huko. Nilikaa wiki mzima siongei.
As the world celebrates World Press Freedom Day, 39 years in service as a journalist has not been an easy ride for one Munene Kamau.
Siku zile hakukuwa na uhuru wa habari sababu ni we were under one party. Na it was very very dangerous for journalists who operate in Kenya. Sababu ile information mnagather na kurelease mpaka kwanza iwe censored. Kuna watu walikuwa wanaitwa ma district commissioner ama wakuu wa wilaya na ma provincial commissioner wa siku zile walikuwa ni kama ma demigods. Haungeandika chochote bila wao kwanza apitia aone kama iko sawa itoke.
Meeting him at his home in Idaraine village, Kirinyaga County, 60-year-old Munene says he has seen it all in the media world, having been detained as a journalist during the Moi era.
Ndio nije kushikwa and to be detained, You know, during the one party, media outlets zilikuwa chache sana. And then there was a very strong Kanu man, the late James Njiro. He was the most powerful man on land. Between him and Moi, there was nobody in between. And therefore his word was law. And then there was Ezekiel Oyugi. who was a permanent secretary, ndiye alikuwa kibicho wa siku hizi. So Njiro, because he always wanted to dictate what should be carried by the media, I told him over my dead body. I was arrested and then detained in Keruwa police station for 3 days without any charge. So my children were, of course, traumatized because that was the second time now, having been arrested in their presence right here in 1987. And now that was 89 again. 87, 89. You see, the period is short.
With the changing times and trends in the media sector, Monene says that a lot has changed. He says that the media today enjoys press freedom, unlike during the one-party rule of the KANU regime.
If I can get to my social media hapa, kama ni Twitter, halafu niambie president vile nataka na hakuna mtu ananiuliza, I can say whatever I want without having to look around. Those days, you could not even speak because you could not trust your own shadow.
Monene has, however, advised upcoming journalists to take advantage of the available press freedom we are enjoying today to highlight objective stories while maintaining the watchdog role.
So, nikiangalia siku zile na siku hizi, uhuru wa wanahabari ni mwingi. My only concern ni ile abuse ya press freedom by some journalists to express and to enjoy those fundamental freedoms ya wanahabari. Mpaka na sisi tuwajibike. We must be responsible. Kenya is not a foreign country, it's our mother country.
Though age has caught up with him, Monene is still passionate about his profession. He has now turned to online publication. As the world marks this important day, journalists have been challenged to report objectively. Mwege William, TV47, Embu.
There is always something to learn, and more so from your seniors in the profession. Thank you, Moige, for that reminder. It's 25 minutes past the hour. A time for us to take a short break here on Spotlight. We'll be back with the discussion we had promised you earlier after this break. Stay tuned.
Mount Kenya University takes pride in being an academic giant with some of the best infrastructure, imparting knowledge to the best brains in the country and the region. Our members of faculty are keen to deliver market-driven programs in science and humanities with a keen focus on linkages with relevant organizations. We admit both self-sponsored and government-sponsored students under the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service. Join us today and train with the best to become the best. Mount Kenya University, unlocking infinite possibilities.
The coronavirus is spreading rapidly across the world, and currently there is no cure or vaccine against it. It spreads through tiny droplets when infected people speak, cough, or sneeze. These droplets can land on surfaces to be picked up by hands and are impossible to see with the naked eye. But just because you can't see them doesn't mean that they are not there. And you may get infected if you touch your face, nose, mouth, or eyes. To help stop the spread of the virus, we all need to do the 5. 1. Follow these steps to wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 40 seconds. 2. Cover your mouth with your bent elbow whenever you cough or sneeze. 3. Avoid touching your face. 4. Avoid crowded places. Keep a safe distance from other people. 5. Stay home if you can, especially if you have any of the symptoms. For more information, visit www.who.int.
How long can Africa's health systems withstand the pressure of the coronavirus?
Right now, we are dealing strictly on an emergency-only basis.
Has the COVID-19 outbreak affected the treatment of other infections and disrupted basic health services? Well, let's explore the rising cost of healthcare. This is The Breakdown, a BBC Africa COVID-19 special program helping you make sense of the crisis.
When it comes to pimple care, Acne's Creamy Wash contains multiple vitamins and removes excessive oil and dirt. Acne's Toner rejuvenates skin. Acne's Sealing Gel fights bacteria. Use Mentholatum Acne's for clear and smooth skin every day.
Aquifer Drinking Water would like to remind you that during these tough times, with proper sanitation and following the government preventive measures, we will win this battle. Don't running water to distance. Avoid always mask when head and stay safe. Pamoja, tutashinda.
Mox Limit urges all citizens to practice the set guidelines to curb the spread of COVID-19. Please, much as possible, practice social distancing measures, wash your hands, use an alcohol-based, and always wear a face mask while in public. Stay home, stay safe. Mox Limited, your connection partner.
For more inquiries, please email at tv47.co.ke or call us on 0748 205 604.
Sarma Enterprises Limited, trusted and reliable supplier of quality timber products, construction material suppliers, which are river sand, ballast, building stones. Visit our website on w.sarma.co.ke. Sarma Enterprises Limited, quality materials for quality pictures.
Sarma.
Kila baada ya miaka tunawachagua kwa kazi zao za ofisini, lakini je, maisha yao zaidi ya
naomba Mungu kwamba ndio kabla
milika zote baba na nje ya nchi tutafika, ili mradi kuhakikisha kuwa umewafahamu.
Vile ningetaka kusema ni kwamba that vile tumelelewa tukiwa ndani ya biashara. Kwa hivyo biashara ilikuwa ndani yangu. Hii maneno ya kidogo upate laini.
Wale walio bisha ngwani katika safari yao ya maisha.
Yoe 19
Nikukumbusha.
ni mama alikuwa anatukana na sasa lazima vijana muoe.
Hayo yote utayapokea katika
The coronavirus, there is no cough or sneeze, land on surfaces. Just because you can't see them, mean that they are not there. And you may get infected if you touch your face, nose, mouth, or eyes. To help stop the spread of follow these steps to wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 40 seconds. 2. Cover your mouth with your bent elbow through touching your. Avoid crowded places. Keep a safe distance from other people. Especially if you have none of the symptoms. For more information, www.who.
So does so.
Pia wewe
tumeachiliwa.
Si pia wewe unaweza anzisha
economy venye iko tough sana.
But not too tough for Mwananchi Credit. We can get a quick logbook loan approved within
kuanzisha si haitatosa.
Si tuko na title deeds pair. We can still get more money using them. Get quick approval within 6 hours using your logbook or title deed. Do not get stuck. Call Mwananchi Credit today. Si nilikuambia.
Para big smart joka jok.
Mwananchi Credit. Investor people.
Levelpesa.com. Have you closed your business operation? Are you unable to travel to and from the workplace? Due to the coronavirus pandemic, Pesa is opening its online portal free of charge to every services online. Simply register at levelpesa.com, take a photo of your goods or service, describe it installing at no charge.
Bomba la Sanya burudani kila siku ya Jumamosi. Hali utapata nafasi ya kuwajua na kuwafahamu wasanii wapendao. Na bila kusahau kitengo ambacho sisi wakanga, yani kikangoni.
Kama unaona hizo nyimbo na Harmonize zinatokea mnakuwa studio vibe. So sijawahi kuwa na tatizo la kusema sitaki kuimba na Diamond, wala sina tatizo la kusema sitaki kukaa kwenye bench moja na Diamond. Yeah.
Na pia jumuika na kuburudika na wanafunzi.
Susanna Vanesenge, hello. Hey, what's up, unatazama bomba.
All right, we apologize for that lengthy break. We were sorting out some technical problems and challenges. Nonetheless, let's get to our discussion of the night, and my guest type live media development and strategy at the Media Council of Kenya. Good evening, Victor. Thank you for making time for us. Victor, the very theme of this year's World Press Freedom Day is, and I quote, journalism without fear and journalism without fear. Where will that fear come from? All right, it seems that problem has persisted. Nonetheless, that brings us to the end of then tonight's spotlight for that inconvenience, but nonetheless, promise to media freedom in Africa and world. Have a good night.